Over 60 million people lost their lives during World War II, making it the deadliest conflict in human history. World War II was a global conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945, involving most of the world's nations, and it is still widely studied and remembered today. In this video, we will explore some of the most unbelievable facts about World War II that you may not have known. From surprising alliances to unexpected heroes, we will delve into the fascinating history of this pivotal moment in time. Fact number 1. Hitler's rise. Adolf Hitler's rise to power was swift and unexpected, as he became the leader of the Nazi Party in 1921 and the Chancellor of Germany in 1933. His charismatic personality and persuasive speaking skills helped him gain a massive following, which ultimately led to his dictatorship. Hitler's leadership had a profound impact on the world, shaping the course of World War II. Fact number 2. Allied invasion. The Allied invasion of Normandy on D-Day was one of the most significant events of the war, as it marked a major turning point in the fight against the Nazis. The invasion was the result of months of planning and preparation, involving thousands of soldiers and extensive resources. The success of the invasion paved the way for the eventual defeat of Germany. Fact number 3. Japanese attack. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor was a surprise military strike that drew the United States into the war, as it resulted in the deaths of over 2,000 Americans and the destruction of much of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. The attack was intended to prevent the U.S. from interfering with Japanese expansion in Asia, but it ultimately had the opposite effect. The U.S. entry into the war marked a significant shift in the global balance of power. Fact number 4. Code breaking. The British code-breaking efforts at Bletchley Park were instrumental in the Allied victory, as they allowed the Allies to decipher German and Japanese communications and gain valuable intelligence. The code breakers, including Alan Turing, worked tirelessly to crack the enemy codes, providing crucial information that helped the Allies make key strategic decisions. Their work remained secret for many years after the war. Fact number 5. Soviet losses. The Soviet Union suffered the highest number of casualties during World War II, with estimates suggesting that over 20 million people lost their lives. The Soviet Union played a crucial role in the defeat of Nazi Germany, and its sacrifices were instrumental in the Allied victory. The war had a profound impact on the Soviet people and the country's development. Fact number 6. Nazi atrocities. The Nazi regime was responsible for some of the most horrific atrocities in human history, including the systematic murder of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. The Nazis also targeted other groups, such as Romani people, disabled individuals, and homosexuals, as part of their twisted ideology. The world was shocked by the scale and brutality of these crimes. Fact number 7. British resistance. The British resistance movement played a significant role in the war effort, as it helped to disrupt German operations and provide intelligence to the Allies. The resistance movement was made up of ordinary citizens who were determined to fight back against the Nazi occupation, using tactics such as sabotage and espionage. Their bravery and sacrifice helped to weaken the enemy and ultimately contributed to the Allied victory. Fact number 8. American contribution. The United States made a significant contribution to the Allied war effort, providing vast amounts of military equipment, supplies, and personnel. The U.S. also played a key role in the development of the atomic bomb, which was used to devastating effect against Japan. The U.S. entry into the war marked a turning point in the conflict, as it helped to shift the balance of power in favor of the Allies. Fact number 9. German military. The German military was highly efficient and well-organized, with a strong emphasis on discipline and tactical planning. The Germans developed innovative military tactics, such as the blitzkrieg, which allowed them to quickly overrun large areas of territory. However, the German military was ultimately unable to overcome the superior resources and manpower of the Allies. Fact number 10. Italian campaign. The Italian campaign was a series of battles fought between the Allies and the Axis powers in Italy, resulting in the eventual defeat of the Italian fascist regime. The campaign was marked by fierce fighting and significant losses on both sides, but ultimately the Allies emerged victorious. The Italian campaign was an important milestone in the war, as it helped to weaken the Axis powers and pave the way for the Allied advance. Fact number 11. D-Day deception. The Allies launched a sophisticated deception campaign to mislead the Germans about the location of the D-Day invasion, using fake military units and radio transmissions to create the illusion of a larger force. The deception was highly successful, as it helped to catch the Germans off guard and allowed the Allies to establish a solid foothold on the continent. The deception campaign was a crucial factor in the success of the invasion. Fact number 12. Soviet espionage. The Soviet Union had an extensive espionage network during World War II, with agents operating in many countries, including Germany and the United States. The Soviets were able to gather valuable intelligence about enemy plans and operations, which they used to inform their own strategic decisions. Soviet espionage played a significant role in the war, as it helped the Soviets to stay one step ahead of their enemies. Fact number 13. British code names. The British used code names to refer to many of their military operations during World War II, such as Operation Overlord, which was the code name for the D-Day invasion. The use of code names helped to maintain secrecy and prevent the enemy from gathering intelligence about Allied plans. The code names were often clever and misleading, making it difficult for the enemy to decipher their meaning. Fact number 14. German U-boats. The German U-boat fleet was a major threat to Allied shipping during World War II, as it was able to sink many ships and disrupt supply lines. The U-boats were highly advanced and difficult to detect, making them a formidable opponent. However, the Allies were eventually able to develop effective countermeasures, such as sonar and convoy systems, which helped to reduce the U-boat threat. Fact number 15. Allied cooperation. The Allies worked closely together during World War II, sharing intelligence and coordinating their military efforts to achieve a common goal. The cooperation between the US, Britain, and the Soviet Union was particularly significant, as it helped to create a united front against the Axis powers. The Allies were able to pool their resources and expertise, making them a more formidable opponent. Fact number 16. Japanese occupation. The Japanese occupation of many Asian countries during World War II was brutal and oppressive, resulting in the deaths of millions of people and the destruction of entire cities. The Japanese military was known for its cruelty and disregard for human life, as it sought to expand its empire and impose its own brand of militarism on the region. The occupation had a profound impact on the people and cultures of the region. Fact number 17. Australian contribution. Australia made a significant contribution to the Allied war effort during World War II, providing troops, equipment, and supplies to the fight against Japan. The Australians played a key role in many battles, including the Battle of Singapore and the Battle of Kokoda, and suffered heavy losses as a result. The Australian contribution was instrumental in the ultimate defeat of Japan. Fact number 18. Canadian role. Canada played an important role in the Allied war effort during World War II, providing troops, equipment, and supplies to the fight against Germany and Japan. The Canadians were involved in many key battles, including the Battle of Normandy and the Battle of the Scheldt, and suffered significant losses as a result. The Canadian role was crucial in the ultimate defeat of the Axis powers. Fact number 19. French resistance. The French resistance movement played a significant role in the war effort, as it helped to disrupt German operations and provide intelligence to the Allies. The resistance movement was made up of ordinary French citizens who were determined to fight back against the Nazi occupation, using tactics such as sabotage and espionage. Their bravery and sacrifice helped to weaken the enemy and ultimately contributed to the Allied victory. Fact number 20. Polish bravery. The Polish people showed remarkable bravery during World War II, as they fought against overwhelming odds to defend their country against the Nazi and Soviet invasions. The Poles were involved in many key battles, including the Battle of Britain and the Battle of Monte Cassino, and suffered heavy losses as a result. Their bravery and sacrifice were instrumental in the ultimate defeat of the Axis powers. Fact number 21. Italian surrender. The Italian surrender in 1943 was a significant turning point in the war, as it marked the beginning of the end of the Axis powers. The Italians had been fighting alongside the Germans, but they eventually realized that the war was lost and surrendered to the Allies. The Italian surrender paved the way for the Allied advance into Germany and ultimately contributed to the defeat of the Axis powers. Fact number 22. German atrocities. The German atrocities committed during World War II were some of the most horrific in human history, including the systematic murder of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. The Germans also targeted other groups, such as Romani people, disabled individuals, and homosexuals, as part of their twisted ideology. The world was shocked by the scale and brutality of these crimes. Fact number 23. Soviet advances. The Soviet advances on the Eastern Front were instrumental in the defeat of Nazi Germany, as they were able to push the Germans back and capture key cities such as Stalingrad and Berlin. The Soviets suffered heavy losses during the war, but their determination and bravery ultimately paid off as they emerged victorious. The Soviet advances marked a significant turning point in the war. Fact number 24. American bombers. The American bombers played a significant role in the war effort, as they were able to launch devastating attacks on enemy cities and industrial centers. The bombers were highly advanced and difficult to defend against, making them a formidable opponent. The American bombers were instrumental in weakening the enemy and ultimately contributing to the Allied victory. Fact number 25. British spies. British spies, including agents such as Mata Hari and Sidney Riley, played a significant role in the war effort, as they were able to gather valuable intelligence about enemy plans and operations. The spies were often bravery and cunning, using their skills and charm to extract information from enemy agents. Their work was instrumental in helping the Allies stay one step ahead of their enemies. Fact number 26. Japanese kamikaze. Japanese kamikaze pilots were a significant threat to the Allied naval forces during World War II, as they were willing to sacrifice themselves in order to sink enemy ships. The kamikaze pilots were highly trained and dedicated, using their skills to devastating effect against the Allies. However, the Allies were eventually able to develop effective countermeasures, such as improved air defenses and radar systems. Fact number 27. Allied conferences. The Allied conferences, including the Tehran Conference and the Yalta Conference, were significant events in the war, as they brought together the leaders of the main Allied powers to discuss strategy and coordinate their efforts. The conferences helped to build trust and cooperation between the Allies, ultimately contributing to their victory. The conferences marked important milestones in the war. Fact number 28. German jet planes. The German jet planes, including the Messerschmitt Me 262, were highly advanced and posed a significant threat to the Allied air forces during World War II. The jets were fast and maneuverable, making them difficult to intercept and destroy. However, the Allies were eventually able to develop effective countermeasures, such as improved radar systems and jet planes of their own. Fact number 29. Soviet scorched earth. The Soviet scorched earth policy, which involved destroying infrastructure and supplies to prevent them from falling into enemy hands, was a significant factor in the war on the Eastern Front. The Soviets were able to deny the Germans access to key resources, ultimately weakening their ability to fight. The scorched earth policy was a clever tactic that helped the Soviets to gain the upper hand. Fact number 30. Final victory. The final victory of the Allies in World War II was the result of a long and bloody conflict, involving the sacrifice of millions of people and the destruction of entire cities. The Allies were ultimately able to emerge victorious, thanks to their bravery, determination, and cooperation. The final victory marked the end of the war and the beginning of a new era of peace and cooperation. Fact number 31. War crimes trials. The war crimes trials, which took place after the end of World War II, were a significant attempt to hold accountable those responsible for the atrocities committed during the war. The trials, including the Nuremberg trials, were a major milestone in the development of international law, as they established the principle that individuals could be held accountable for their actions, even if they were acting on behalf of a government. Fact number 32. Reparations and reconstruction. The reparations and reconstruction efforts after World War II were a significant challenge, as many countries had been devastated by the war and needed assistance to rebuild. The Allies provided significant economic and military aid to help rebuild and restore the affected countries, and the United Nations was established to promote international cooperation and prevent future conflicts. Fact number 33. Cold War beginnings. The Cold War began to take shape in the aftermath of World War II, as the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers with fundamentally different ideologies and interests. The Cold War would go on to shape international relations for decades to come, as the two superpowers engaged in a series of proxy wars, espionage, and propaganda campaigns. Fact number 34. European division. The division of Europe into Eastern and Western blocs after World War II was a significant consequence of the war, as it marked the beginning of a decades-long period of tension and competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. The division of Europe would have far-reaching consequences for international relations, trade, and culture. Fact number 35. United Nations establishment. The establishment of the United Nations after World War II was a significant attempt to promote international cooperation and prevent future conflicts. The United Nations was founded on the principles of sovereignty, non-interference, and collective security, and it would go on to play a major role in promoting peace and stability around the world. Fact number 36. War's impact on science. World War II had a significant impact on the development of science and technology, as it drove innovation and investment in areas such as rocketry, computing, and medicine. The war also led to significant advances in fields such as physics, chemistry, and biology, as scientists worked to develop new technologies and solutions to support the war effort. Fact number 37. Code-breaking impact. The code-breaking efforts during World War II had a significant impact on the outcome of the war, as they allowed the Allies to gather vital intelligence about enemy plans and operations. The code breakers, including those at Bletchley Park, were able to decipher enemy codes and ciphers, providing crucial information that helped the Allies to stay one step ahead of their enemies. Fact number 38. Women's roles. The roles of women during World War II were significant, as they took on new responsibilities and challenges to support the war effort. Women worked in factories, served in the military, and participated in resistance movements, making significant contributions to the ultimate Allied victory. Fact number 39. African American contributions. The contributions of African Americans during World War II were significant, as they served in the military, worked in war industries, and participated in the war effort. Despite facing significant discrimination and segregation, African Americans played a crucial role in the ultimate Allied victory. Fact number 40. Latin American support. The support of Latin American countries during World War II was significant, as they provided troops, supplies, and economic aid to the Allies. Latin America played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in the supply of raw materials and foodstuffs. Fact number 41. Chinese contributions. The contributions of China during World War II were significant, as they fought against the Japanese invasion and provided supplies and support to the Allies. China suffered heavily during the war, but its contributions were instrumental in the ultimate Allied victory. Fact number 42. Indian contributions. The contributions of India during World War II were significant, as they provided troops, supplies, and economic aid to the Allies. India played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in the supply of raw materials and manpower. Fact number 43. Canadian Home Front. The Canadian Home Front during World War II was significant, as Canadians worked together to support the war effort and contribute to the ultimate Allied victory. Canadians worked in war industries, served in the military, and participated in volunteer efforts to support the war. Fact number 44. Australian Home Front. The Australian Home Front during World War II was significant, as Australians worked together to support the war effort and contribute to the ultimate Allied victory. Australians worked in war industries, served in the military, and participated in volunteer efforts to support the war. Fact number 45. New Zealand contributions. The contributions of New Zealand during World War II were significant, as they provided troops, supplies, and economic aid to the Allies. New Zealand played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in the supply of raw materials and manpower. Fact number 46. South African contributions. The contributions of South Africa during World War II were significant, as they provided troops, supplies, and economic aid to the Allies. South Africa played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in the supply of raw materials and manpower. Fact number 47. Brazilian contributions. The contributions of Brazil during World War II were significant, as they provided troops, supplies, and economic aid to the Allies. Brazil played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in the supply of raw materials and manpower. Fact number 48. Mexican contributions. The contributions of Mexico during World War II were significant, as they provided economic aid and support to the Allies. Mexico played a crucial role in the war effort, particularly in the supply of raw materials and oil. Fact number 49. Philippine contributions. The contributions of the Philippines during World War II were significant, as they fought against the Japanese invasion and provided supplies and support to the Allies. The Philippines suffered heavily during the war, but their contributions were instrumental in the ultimate Allied victory. Fact number 50. Global aftermath. The global aftermath of World War II was significant, as it marked the beginning of a new era of international relations, global governance, and economic cooperation. The war led to the establishment of the United Nations, the European Union, and other international organizations, as well as the emergence of new global powers and the decline of old empires. In conclusion, World War II was a complex and multifaceted conflict that involved many countries and had a profound impact on the world. We hope you have learned something new and interesting from this video, and we invite you to subscribe to our channel for more educational content. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.